All right, guys. Well, welcome to Team Forever Strong's weekly team call. Today is Thursday, May 3rd. And I don't know about you guys, but it has been an awesome start to the month because of 2B Mindset. And I know so many of you guys are reaching out and helping other people and getting them started on their journey and getting them set up with 2B Mindset. Make sure you check the team page. There's been a lot of really important posts that have been going up there. We do have a free info group also starting on Monday. I know a lot of you guys might have your upline coach as well. Maybe they already ran theirs. Maybe they have one coming up as well, but I have one on Monday. So make sure you take advantage of that, guys. Get as many people as possible into this group so that they can learn about 2B Mindset, because it really is for everyone and anyone. I really think since my past 4 years of coaching that this has been really the missing link. I know for me, it's been the missing link, and for so many other people, it's been the missing link. So it's going to be a game changer for people. And if you take advantage of this launch and really use the strategy plan I posted about exactly step by step, what you can do to take advantage of this, your business will blow up. You will be mind blown. You should be busy right now, so busy right now, right? It's been crazy in a great way though, guys, in a super great way. So that is on Monday. Last announcement is on Sunday. We also have our coach sneak peek at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. So again, if you're here to build a business, I can't stress enough how important it is to make sure that you get people in so they can learn about the business side of things. You've got to build your team, whether you're a brand new coach or you're a veteran coach, or you've stalled out and plateaued, or you just want to hit the next level and raise the bar. You've got to get people into that. So if you need help, again, there's a game plan in the team page. You can always reach out to me, reach out to your coaches. But set a goal for yourself, set a goal and be like, you know what, I'm going to get 10 people into this coach sneak peek on Sunday night to learn about coaching, because it is a numbers game, guys. I say it all the time. I really feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but it is. I feel like for every 8 to 10 people I add into a coach sneak peek, I get maybe 1 to 2 people who for sure sign up to go forward. So think in numbers, think big. Anytime you're talking to somebody, if they say that they don't have the money to do a challenge group with you or to sign up for anything, that is an instant red flag that they need this business in their life and that they should be a fly on the wall and just learn more. So don't be afraid to speak up and give people this gift that we have, because that is really how you go to the next level in this business. Is not just getting people signed up and plugged into our challenge groups, but are you finding other business building coaches now who can go on and pay it forward just as you are doing? All right, that's the last thing. So guys, our guest speaker tonight, I'm sure you probably know her, but if you don't, because I know we have a lot of new coaches too on the team, her name is Jessica Pasola. She is incredible, guys. We are learning from one of the best tonight. She's been coaching now for 3.5 years. She has 2 little kids at home. She has a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old. She is a superstar diamond coach, guys. That is the highest rank that you can be as a Beachbody coach. So she knows what she's doing, and she knows how to help grow other leaders on her team. That's what that means. It's an incredible milestone to be able to reach. So she's a superstar diamond. She's a Success Club 10 legend. She's actually never missed a month of Success Club 10 since she's been coaching over the past 3.5 years. She's a 2-time elite coach, and she is the founder of Fearless Empire. And tonight she's going to be talking about something really incredible that's going to light a fire, and it's going to get you to take some massive action and want you to get going right after this call. So I hope you have your notebooks out and your pens ready to go, because it's on. So thanks, Jessica, for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. You guys, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to talk with you. And, it's this whole thing, this whole weight loss thing, this whole coaching thing, it is a journey. But when I am learning more and more every month that goes on that I am in this business, I realize what an incredible gift we have. And just kind of going off of what was just said, and I'll talk about this a little bit as I get into stuff, but remember to never hold this gift inside your mouth. You have an answer to so many things, like so many things. And sometimes I think it's, we let things hinder us. We let insecurity hinder us from sharing. We get, we just let fear get in the way. And it just doesn't have to be that way. If you have a solution to a problem, it is your responsibility to share it. And we all have that. So we have this gift, and it's our responsibility to get to love on other people daily, to lift them up, to encourage them, and offer them an opportunity of a lifetime. And if you don't think about this as an opportunity of a lifetime, you've got to change your mindset, because that's exactly what it is. Okay, so tonight I'm going to be talking about fearless actions. And just to give you a little bit of background on who I am, like it was said, I am a mom. I am a single mom, actually. So I have a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old, and this business is everything to me, besides them, and number one, my faith. I started my weight loss journey when Isaiah, my son, who is the 5-year-old, was about 9 months old, and I had gained 50 pounds nursing. I don't know about any ladies on here that are part of the 3% of women that gain weight nursing, but I am part of that 3%. And I was devastated. I've always been athletic. I played soccer. I've always been a curvy girl with muscle. I played soccer all through college, through basically my whole life. And I still play co-ed soccer. I absolutely love it. And so gaining that weight at that time in my life was so devastating. I never felt more tired. I never felt more insecure about my body. I was a worship leader at a very large church in Minnesota. And I was up in front of over 1,000 people on a weekly basis. And I just remember like changing my clothes 6 times on Sunday mornings before I would leave, because I was just so unhappy with not only the way I looked, but how I felt. And I had to remind myself every time I got up there that it wasn't about me. But that was, there is a toll that takes on a person of constantly being insecure, constantly feeling uncomfortable in your own skin. And I decided to be on a mission to change it. And I remember seeing my coach that signed me up. I remember seeing her in my news feed over and over and over again. And about 6 months after I first started watching her, I literally watched her lose 30 pounds. And after 6 months, I reached out to her. If she would have reached out to me, I probably would have joined her sooner, to be honest. But I finally got the courage to reach out to her. And I just said, girlfriend, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Because I'm lost. I've gained 50 pounds. I'm miserable, and I need an answer. If anything, I don't care if I'm ever in a swimsuit competition or anything like that. I just want to be able to chase my kids. I just want to be able to run around after my son someday and not let this pattern of weight gain continue. And so she told me about the 21-day fix and Shakeology. Funny story, I actually returned my second bag of Shakeology because we were always on a tight budget, and I didn't feel supported at the time, and I just didn't want the fight, and so I returned it. And lo and behold, I realized how much I actually love that stuff through that, because man, I felt like I really wanted it. And at the same time, I was losing weight. I lost 20 pounds, and I had people asking me every Sunday morning, girlfriend, what are you doing? Because I'm watching you and you're losing weight and I need help. And I had a choice. I could either send them to my coach or I could sign them up. But of course I was scared. Are we all not a little scared before we start coaching? What if I don't know all the answers? What if I'm not a good coach? I mean, one of my gifts is encouragement, so I think I'd be a good coach, but what if I'm not a good coach? What if people think I'm weird? What if everybody thinks I'm just trying to sell them something now, because we all have that friend that is super annoying, and I don't want to be that girl, right? Like all of these fears kind of come into your head. And so she brought me to a Super Saturday. I was just a customer, and I went to a Super Saturday, and I listened to her coach that signed her up speak. Lindsay Stay was in town, and she spoke, and she talked about her story, and her story was just so intriguing because she was a normal girl who had actually been through a whole lot of hell, and yet she was becoming $1 million earner. And I thought, she can do this, I can do this. I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to have a perfect background or a perfect story or say everything right. If she can do it, I can do it. So why not? And she was a 7-star diamond at the time. So I thought, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to be a 7-star diamond coach. And I literally had belief in what I was doing before I was even doing it, which I think is really important. So if you are a new coach on this call, you've got to affirm your beliefs. You've got to affirm yourself. And even if you're having a hard time because of fear, affirm it, affirm it, affirm it. You are put in this position for a purpose and for a reason, and you are worthy of success, and you need to be okay with that and not be so afraid of failure that you don't take a stance in this. Okay. So I remember, the first, 10 people I talked to all said no to me. I think to this day, they still haven't joined. I sat down and made appointments, and I sat down and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this. And I really was when people said no, I was like, wow, I don't get it. Why would you not do this? Okay, next. And I just kept sharing it. And I never let those no's bring me down. Don't get me wrong. We all have a bad day, but I never let those no's paralyze me. I just kept going. And then one day, a girl said yes. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to get on the phone with her. I've got to sign her up. And I remember shaking while I was on the phone with her. And I was up in front of people for a living. I was a connector. I was an encourager for a living. I just remember feeling like, oh my gosh, why am I so nervous? But guys, new things sometimes are hard and we get a little uncomfortable, right? But successful people get uncomfortable. And when you're uncomfortable, that's when you grow. And so I just kept going. And I remember before I even started this, I was praying and praying and praying about an opportunity. I was like, God, I absolutely loved my church home. I loved where I was leading worship. I loved all of that. But I thought to myself, after I heard Lindsay speak, I thought, how cool would it be if I got to just go and volunteer? And I got to do that. And I got to be up there and volunteer, and they didn't have to pay me because I was doing so well in this other ministry venture, which is what I think of as Beachbody. What if that was the case? And my son would cry I was married, but I really have always been a single mom. And my son would cry and cry and cry on the way home from daycare because I would have to stop at the church and I was never done with my job, and he'd say, no church, no church. And he was one. And I remember thinking, this is exactly the opposite of what I want. And so I was praying for this opportunity, and it came about. And I just felt like this is what I'm supposed to do. I didn't have all the answers. I didn't know everything, but I felt like, well, if God has brought me to it, he's going to see me through it, and I'm going to do the absolute best that I can. And the only way I'm legitimately going to fail is if I quit. So I'm just going to keep going. And I'm going to set really big goals, because otherwise I'm never going to know what I really could do. If we just toe dip, how do we really know what could happen? Right? So I'm going to set big goals, and I'm going to go for it. And, it's funny. I started off my team with 2 people. I ended up going diamond in 24 days, and a lot of it was discount coaches, right? But I did have some business coaches, and those 2 coaches, and I started a team page with those 2 coaches, and we were so on fire. And I was just talking about vision and how we were going to build an empire. And it was just so exciting. And people thought we were a top team. And I had 2 coaches on my team. We did our Zoom calls. We did all of that. We did the calls like this with all 3 of us, And slowly those 3 people became 10, and then they became 20, and then they became 50, and then they became a few hundred, and it just grew. And it felt so good. But something that I have continually learned is that when we come into this business, and no matter where we're at in this business, we have fear at different times for different reasons, for different things, but fear, it can be there, and we can either give in to our fear and feed our fears, or feed our faith. And so I just kept going. And, after, I don't know, it was 6 months, I became a 2-star, my 2 coaches went diamond. And then after that, I had attracted more and more business coaches. And after 9 months, I went 7-star. After a year, I was 10-star. And then 23 months in, I was a 15-star diamond coach. And I just remember, guys, I wanted to be a 15-star diamond coach in September 2015. And I hit it in June 2016. So there was like a big gap of feeling like, okay, like I'm not hitting my goals, but I wasn't disappointed when I hit it, right? Like I just had to realize early on, in any step you are in this business, if you miss a goal, you just set a new date. And Craig Holiday says a goal is not a goal without a date on it. So you set a new date, you go for a new goal, and you don't quit. You don't quit because your why is so big, right? Like your why is so big. And then there's whys that I had that I accomplished, and then I had a new why, you know? And so you just keep going. So anyway, that's mainly my story, I guess you would say, of to kind of where I'm at now. What I absolutely love when I look at kids, like I look at my son and I think of being fearless. Isaiah is 5 years old and he like has zero fear. It's actually scary. He thinks he's invincible, like I think a lot of kids do. But if you ask him what he wants to be when he grows up, he will tell you he's going to be Spider-Man. He's going to be a firefighter. He's going to be a garbage truck driver, and he's going to be the Red Power Ranger. And he legitimately believes he is going to be all of those things, right? Like he has so much faith and is so fearless. Like he's invincible. And he's humble. He's a good kid, but he like has passion and belief. And I think there's a huge lesson that we can all take from that. I thought it was really funny because I actually asked on my Facebook page, I did this talk for Super Saturday in New Orleans. And I asked on my Facebook page, you know, what is something that scares you? And people said like throwing up. I'm reading this right now. Throwing up. Somebody just put up a picture of a clown. Everything crumbling around them, bugs, bats, animals, more bugs, just nature in general. Somebody wrote, a meteor falling on their house, deep water, heights, grasshoppers, snakes, jellyfish. And, my most embarrassing moment is actually falling in front of a crowd. Like that horrifies me. It happened to me in high school and it was so embarrassing. But the truth is that we all have these fears, right? Like nobody wants to fall. Nobody wants to have an embarrassing moment. But what is holding you back from your dreams? I just kind of want you to think of that, not to sound cheesy and not to sound cliche, right? Like what's holding you back? But truthfully, if fear wasn't a factor, what would you do? What would you go for if you weren't afraid of succeeding or failing? Because some people are afraid of succeeding too. So I kind of shared a little bit about who I am. And I just want to say this too. My journey sounds like it was just so fast and it just kind of happened. And the truth is that that's just not, I mean, it was fast, but everybody grows at a different pace and it doesn't matter if you go fast or slow. Some of my top coaches did not grow fast and they are top coaches on my team, but I failed a lot, like a lot. I made a lot of mistakes, partly because I was just growing so fast. I just, you know, sometimes I just didn't know what the heck I was doing. But I was scared a lot. Feeling like I was, you know, didn't quite know or whatever, but I just continued to set those goals and chose to accomplish them. You know, I often like tell my coaches, because sometimes coaches are just like, I just don't know if I can hit Success Club. And it's like, well, I promise you, if your life depended on it, like legitimately, if your life depended on it, you would sign up 3 people. You know, 3 guys, like, can we just talk about this Success Club? This is not like, I'm not going to say it's easy, but it is not hard. If you show up and you do your job in 30 days, signing up 3 people, she said it was a numbers game, right? I believe it was Amy Silverman that said at Summit last year, it's not about the quantity over the quality, but sometimes you have to get through the quantity to find the quality. And if what you're doing isn't working, reevaluate it, talk with your upline. I mentor my coaches on a daily basis, helping them do, you know, change things that aren't working and helping them look at what could work or what we could change or whatnot. But sometimes it's just not enough conversations happening. How many times have you either been in that position or heard from somebody else at the last day of the month, like, oh my gosh, I was supposed to sign up 3 people today and they all fell through. Well, why did you only have those 3 people, right? Like, it's about making sure you don't put all your eggs in one basket, because what happens when you do is you feel like a salesperson a little bit, but also, right, if we wait till the last week of the month to hit Success Club, we kind of start to feel like a salesperson. But also, I don't know about you, but if I'm depending on one person or 2 or 3 people to come through and they don't do it, I'm almost like mad at them. Like, how dare you mess up my goals, right? Like, you're almost like, well, my cousin didn't come through and she said I would. But really, that's not what this is about. Like, Success Club is an amazing measurement for us to follow, right? Like, it helps us measure our business and growth. And that's great because numbers are important. You'll learn that in the 2B mindset, is that the scale is actually not that scary and there is a healthy way to look at it. Well, the same thing with Success Club. It's not unhealthy to measure your success. That's not a bad thing. But too many times we put all of our eggs in one basket and then we just get really upset when it kind of falls apart. But truthfully, you shouldn't let yourself get to a point where all your eggs are in one basket at 12 a.m. on the last day of the month. So I just want to encourage you guys to really, if something's not working or you're not hitting Success Club, or maybe you're a newer coach and it's very intimidating to you, just know that when you show up, major things happen. And so many times when people feel like things aren't happening, sometimes it's just a matter of showing up. And it doesn't all come at once. And it's not, I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's not hard. You can do this. You can do this. And you got to tell yourself that, and you got to affirm it out loud. Over 1,200 neurological studies have been done that show that speech and thought are connected. So what you do, what you believe and what you want to do, you say out loud. Like, honestly, even if it comes down to, I'm a good mom. I'm a really good mom. I'm a diamond coach. I'm a top coach. I'm a $1 million earner. Whatever your dreams are, affirm them and look in the mirror and say it out loud, even if you feel like an idiot doing it. Because it is worth it when you start to get your brain to think those things and say those things and pray over them. If you're the praying kind, I know not everybody is, but if you're the praying kind, pray over your business. It is not wrong to pray over your business. Every day I pray that God would bless my coaches and my customers and my business, and that he would protect us from all the lies the enemy is going to tell us about how unworthy we are and how bad we are at this and all these things. He's going to protect us from that. And I pray that God would use us to be a light and to help other people. And there's something really amazing that happens when you repeatedly pray that prayer over your business. So something that I want to talk about real quick is being fearless in your effort, kind of like I was talking about with Success Club. Remember, guys, that everyone has 24 hours in a day. Nobody has an advantage on time. Oprah has 24 hours in a day. You guys all have 24 hours in a day. Melanie Mitchell has 24 hours in a day. Bonnie Engel has 24 hours in a day. Everybody has 24 hours in a day. Nobody has an advantage of time. And at the end of the day, something you can do to keep yourself accountable is you can ask yourself, if you really were your own boss, right? If you really were employed by yourself, would you hire yourself or would you fire yourself? Because if you can answer that and say, I would hire myself today, you're going to want to do that every single day. It's kind of like if you caught the beginning of our call, I was talking about I was in the 2B mindset test group, and I was talking about how, like, I woke up and I would say, today's going to be a weight loss day. And it affected every decision I made throughout that day. Same thing when you ask yourself, am I going to hire myself or am I going to fire myself today? Well, I want to be hired every single time, right? Show up with your posting. Like, post, be present. Have a presence, because you seek to inspire so many. But if you hold this gift inside your mouth, or if you're not showing up, how are you going to inspire anybody? How are they going to even know what you're doing? I signed up somebody the other week, and she's like, yeah, the weirdest thing happened after I signed up with you as a business coach, a new coach. She's like, my cousin got really mad at me because I guess she's a coach, but I had no idea. She never has posted anything about it. Like, I literally never heard her talk about it, never posted anything about it, never seen anything from her on it. And I just had no idea. And I said, okay, so let that be a lesson on how you want to be present in your business, how you want to show people what you're doing. It doesn't mean that you're going to be cheesy and, kiss your Shakeology bottle and several selfies or anything like that. You're just going to show up on a daily basis, and you're going to show people what you're doing through your health, through, if you're like me, I stand for 3 things: health, hope, and heart. So it might be your faith is your hope, whatever, your family is your heart, whatever those are. But you're going to show up and you're going to inspire. And she took that to heart. She's showing up every day because of that. So show up and affirm, like I said. Okay, so at Super Saturday, I made them all say affirmations with me, but I won't do that. We'll just move on. But yes, be fearless in your investing and inviting. Are you adding value? Remember, guys, what you put out there is what you're going to attract. Are you doing free groups? Are you helping people? Are you, for the launch, for the To Be Mindset launch, I made sure to have, hundreds and hundreds of people in a free group to prep for the launch, where I was adding value every day. I couldn't really talk too much about the program, but I could help them be accountable with where their nutrition was at right now. And I could give them tips and I could help them in that way. That goes a long way. And it's why yesterday was so great, is because of all the value that you add, because it builds trust. Asking the right questions builds trust. Sometimes inviting is the hardest part. And I hear coaches say, but I just want to help people. Like, I don't want to sell anything, but I just want to help people. Well, guys, if free was working for people, everybody would be in the best shape of their life, and it's not working for people because sometimes we have to invest. We have to invest in ourselves. We have to invest in something and in the right tools, right? Like, we have to invest in the right tools, just like we invest in healthy food. So remember that when you think, I just want to help people, well, showing people and talking to people and inviting people is offering them a solution that is going to help them. Be fearless in your vision and goal setting. Make a plan and be flexible. I talked about my goal to hit 15-star and how it was later than I had planned, but that's okay. You just keep moving forward. Be fearless in your belief. I'm going to tell you guys a little story real quick, and I'll kind of end with this, but it's interesting. When I went 15-star, the week before it happened, it was supposed to happen for summit recognition. It was supposed to happen the week prior. And I was so excited. I was like, guys, we're doing this. Like, my whole team was so pumped. I mean, it was truly a team effort because you can't do that by yourself. And everyone was so pumped. And I ended up getting the stomach flu like that Wednesday, the night before. And I literally I was like dizzy even looking at a computer, but I trusted, everybody's got everything in place. Well, something happened with one coach and it kind of didn't happen. And I was so sad, like so sad. I totally had one of those moments where you just like need to feel the emotion. It's okay to do that, by the way. It's okay to be sad sometimes. But I had a morning moment, and then I went back in my team page and I said, guys, this is our week. Like, I knew I had missed like the summit recognition and all of that for our team, which was going to be so special. But I just went, guys, we're doing this. We're doing this. We got this. We're going for it. And everybody was pumped. The girl that had the issue, it all got worked out. We were going to be 15-star, except for the fact that between my second business center, my husband at the time, his business center, and my first business center, I had to add 12 coaches. Like, it was one of those weeks. Do you ever just go into your online office and you're like, well, what the hell happened? Like, it just like I needed to add 12 coaches. And I thought, okay, I'm going to do it. I can do that. I can do it. And Monday hit, and it wasn't out of lack of trying. I literally had not added a single coach. And I remember being like, okay, well, what do I do? I mean, I can't sign up my dog, So what do you do? And I remember just sitting in my car. I was super upset, and I was like just crying and praying. And I was like, okay, God, if you want this to happen, like, I surrender. Like, whatever you want to happen, I give it to you. I trust you. And if it's not supposed to happen, let me be okay with it. But I ask that it does. I ask that it does. And literally like 2 seconds later, no joke, I get a phone call. And it's like a 310 number. So I think it's going to be like some recording of Autumn being like, hey, Beachbody coaches or whatever, And if you're a new coach, you'll get those. And I remember being like, okay, hello or whatever. And it was my corporate mentor, Arnaud, who, by the way, like, doesn't just call me. Like, we don't really talk on the phone like that. Like, we're cool. But we don't have those phone calls. In fact, I hadn't met with him for over a month because he was on vacation and I was on vacation, and we only meet every other week. And I don't even think he knew that I was going for 15-star, right? And he calls me and he's like, Pasola. And I'm like, hey. And he's like, man, like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like the man upstairs or what, but I feel like I'm supposed to call you and tell you that whatever you're going for, you just need to do it. And I was like, okay, Jesus, like, I got you. And I'm like, Arnaud, I have to add 12 coaches in 2 days. And he goes, okay, so do it. If your life depended on it, you would do it, right? So stop pitting partying about it and like start inviting right now. Like, go do it. You can do this. And I was like, yeah, okay. Yeah. I like got out of my car and I went inside, and I think I worked 48 hours nonstop, but I added 12 coaches. And it happened, and we went 15-star, and corporate made an exception, and they recognized us at Summit. After 6 weeks, we held it for 6 weeks. And that 6th week, the day I went 15-star, I found out I was 6 weeks pregnant. So it was one of those things that it just kind of coincided, and like Kira survived because God is good, because that was a stressful time. But it was amazing. And it just goes to show, like, when you say, okay, like, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to quit. I am going to go for this. I am worthy of this. My team is worthy of this. God has a plan for this. I'm going to surrender it, and I'm also going to work for it. Pray as if it depends on God, and work as if it depends on you. And give it your all. You can't just sit on your couch and pray for $1 million. You have to work and reap what you sow. And it's something that I learned, and I went for it, and I'm so thankful. I love my team. Now, I will say this, over the past, like 9 months ago, I'm just going to be really honest with you guys, and I have talked a little bit about this on my social media, but not the details, and I won't go into too much details because I just never want to. It's not all my story to tell, and that wouldn't be fair. But about 9 months ago, my husband decided to pursue a different life. He decided to leave us and decided to go do something else. And that's all I'm going to say about it. But like, I mean, I was devastated. I mean, obviously that's an understatement. I always pictured my life as a family unit, and believed that we were on the same page with faith, and believed we were on the same page in many, many different ways that we weren't. And it was really, really difficult. And sometimes it was hard to even put up a post on social media, because when you're in the fire, like I said, now I've talked about it a little bit because my hashtags have been single mom hashtags. But when I was going through that, it wasn't the right time. And like I said, I won't go into details because it's not really all my story to tell or to, slander or whatever. But it was hard, and it was really, really amazing to see my team and my community in this business come around me and my kids and love on us and lift us up. And I'm sitting here in this house that I bought with him, and I can completely have it all on my own. I can make the payments. I can fund my life, working from home, being a full-time, having a full-time income with being a full-time mom, and doing all of that. And it's because of this business. And I'm going to be honest, for, 6 months, my income wasn't what it was. It's gone back up, but it wasn't for a while. And still, it covered bills and it covered those needs. And I could have been comparing myself to so many other coaches or so many different things, but instead, it was like tunnel vision on prosper where you're planted. God's got a vision for your life. He's got a vision for this business. And I'm literally seeing the fruit of that right now. It's not what I thought it would be, and it's not what I thought it would look like. But how amazing is it that we have this opportunity? And I look at that, and I talk to single moms now on a daily basis, because that is a huge market of mine now. And I feel so blessed that I get to share this with them, and that I can add them to my team, and we can build this empire together and be full-time moms with full-time incomes and be strong and do this. So just remember not to take this for granted. And when I say that, I mean, truly, guys, be fearless in your actions, because you won't regret it. You don't know what the future holds. I had no idea when I started this business that I would be in this situation, 3.5 years later. But man, I'm thankful that I get to do this every day, that I get to wake up. I'm thankful for residual income, that I don't have to depend on working for a boss that I don't know is going to give me a raise or not. I can literally work for my income and work with a team that loves me for that income. And that's a huge, huge privilege. So I just wanted to kind of put that in perspective for you guys. So thank you so much for letting me talk. Do you guys have any questions for me at all?
That was so awesome. And I'm so sorry you had to go through that. That must have been so difficult and still difficult. And like, I love like your outlook on it though, because that's how I am, like with anything like horrible that has happened. It would be so easy to just curl up under a rock and be like, I don't want to do anything. But I've always been like you, like that. I have to believe and trust in God's plan that this is how it's supposed to go, and that something else is coming that's going to be even better for us and for our family. And you just have to constantly believe in that things happen for a reason the way that they do, and constantly just keep putting your trust in his plan. And it sometimes can be hard for people who are control freaks like I am, but
totally get it. I feel
that's like, why? But it's the only way you get through it, is that, is putting your trust in his plan and knowing that things are happening exactly the way that they are meant to happen. And it's really hard to focus on that when you're going through when you're in like the shit, right? Mm-hmm. But you're such a strong mama. Your kids are lucky to have you.
Well, thanks, girl. And it was interesting though, you guys, because this is my full-time job. I didn't have an option of not showing up. Like SC10 for me every month has never been an option. It's like, I need to continue to build, and it's not even like a need. I mean, it is a need, but it's not even like I have to do this. It's like I get to do this, and I had to. Don't get me wrong. Like I had some really bad days. Like I wanted to shut down. It just wasn't. It wasn't an option, and I'm thankful now. Because I've seen a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people succeed. I've seen people quit, and I feel bad for the people that do quit, because sometimes you just have to stick it out a little bit, and to turn a new leaf. So
you do. You got to have that patience piece, and be willing to go through the tough, just like everything else in life. And it always passes, and it's just how it is. It's never going to always be smooth sailing. And really that is the difference, right? Between like the successful coaches and the ones who really aren't, are the ones who show up when they don't want to show up. I mean, when they really don't want to show up, continuing to show up. But I wrote down, guys, think of some questions to ask her, because this is like a real big treat that we have her. So start thinking. But I took down notes, and I wrote down some really awesome key takeaways that I loved from your talk tonight. But one of the things right from the beginning, guys, I don't know if you've picked up on this, because we have guest speakers, and you go to Summit, and you go to all these different events, and you hear like leaders talk, and it's funny, you notice that every single successful top coach in the company, any leader in the company that's having success, they all say the exact same thing. They all tell the story of how they were watching another successful coach at the beginning of their journey, and they said, if they can do it, I can do it. That right there, like, I love how you said that and you brought that up, because I remember I literally said the exact same thing when I first became a coach, and I started watching all the YouTube videos with, Lindsay Matway, Melanie Mitchell, just trying to be a sponge to everything. I remember being like, okay, it doesn't matter that they've been doing this like way longer than me. Like, if they did it, I can do it. Like, this is opportunity. Like, I got excited, and I was like, this is awesome. I didn't put them on a pedestal or anything. I was like, hey, they're making it work. This means that like anybody can make it work. And so having that belief in yourself before you've even done anything, before you've even started putting in the work. I mean, honestly, all the successful coaches, they say the exact same thing. So you've got to find a way to get that belief in you and in your business and in this company, and be willing to go the distance with it. It is so worth it, guys. Like, listen to Jessica's story. It's incredible, right? I mean, that she's able to be there in this house, totally supporting her and her kids because of this. I mean, it's amazing. It's absolutely incredible. The biggest blessing that this business can be for you and for your family. I love how you mentioned that successful people get uncomfortable. Because how easy is it, right, to just like smooth sailing, living in your comfort zone, but it's when you push yourself out of that. And it could be something as simple as just reaching out and sending somebody a message. Every time you do that, you just grow and you become better. You become a better person and a better leader and a better coach. So always make sure that you're doing something that's getting yourself a little bit uncomfortable. I always say, like, if you don't feel like you're going to throw up at all ever, you're not pushing yourself hard enough. And this was the last thing I want to say. I love how you talked about goals, and you said a phrase, guys, that you should all write down, because this team has huge goals. I mean, this is an incredible, incredible team. And we've had a lot of huge milestones for some of the coaches on the team, being able to leave their full-time job at the end of this year and do this full-time next year. And it's been incredible. And I can guarantee you, if you ask those people who are reaching those goals, whether they're rank advancing, paying off credit card debt, earning a certain amount in their paychecks, being able to, stop that second job because of this, being able to do this full-time, they all had their goals, but not just their goals just out in limbo. They had them all written down, and they had dates on them. Like, I love how you said that. A goal is not a goal without a deadline, without a date. You've got to think about really where you could be in life because of this business. If fear didn't even exist, if there was nothing holding you back, what would your life look like? What would you be doing? How would you be spending your days? How would that feel? Really close your eyes and visualize that and think about that. And then write it down and write the dates down and say it out loud to yourself every single morning. Think about it every single night before you go to bed. And if it doesn't happen, like Jessica said, when the date happened, it doesn't matter. Who cares? Like, you're a lifer. That's the way I look at it. I'm in this forever. So you know what? If I don't reach it as fast as I want to, it's all right. I'll pick a new date and I'll eventually get there, as long as I keep working toward it. So it's really not a big deal. Awesome. This was an awesome, awesome call, Jessica. Like, I love it.
I love this kind of stuff. You guys something real quick too, because this is like super embarrassing, but it's not so much embarrassing as like you're gonna hear it and you're gonna go, oh, like it just sucks. But I think it's important to hear, because I was devastated and then kind of kept going. But the first time I went qualifying for 10 star, I have to hold it for 6 weeks to get that bonus, and the bonus was like $20,000, and that was like going to be life-changing for me. And for anybody, that's a great bonus, right? So I just everything held it for 6 weeks. The final day, held it, woke up the next morning, and my business center said diamond. And this was back when our Coach Online office had like a ton of glitches. So they don't really have as many, or maybe any anymore, but they had a lot. So we've grown. But I remember being like, well, that's a mistake. And I called CR and they're like, oh no, you got it. You held it. And then it didn't, they were going to change it on Monday, but it didn't change. And it was really weird. And I had my corporate mentor look into it, and I had dropped down to diamond because I didn't have enough PV. It wasn't my team. I had been putting all my customers through my second business center, and I was getting my Shakeology out of my second business center, right? So I dropped PV. So I didn't have enough PV or whatever. I think it would have been if I would have spent $30, I would have gotten a $20,000 bonus. And my team didn't hit that. So we had to restart our qualification, and then it was in between weeks. So I didn't get the bonus, and it was but it was a great lesson to learn of money's money, and it's what we live, why, or not why we live, sorry, at all. It helps us, right, survive, all those good things. But it was also a really good lesson of okay, keep going. So when I say I made a lot of mistakes, you guys, I made some really big mistakes, some very expensive mistakes. And it was, very humbling, very humbling. You're your upline's ready to shout you out the next day, and you're wait a minute, I woke up a diamond coat. It just was, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I cannot even believe that. I know. And that's the thing though, guys. You got to keep it real. It's true. The more successful you become in business in general, the more you have to fail and be willing to fail to get there. And it's not even you're a failure, but you're going to make mistakes along the way, and they're just learning moments. And you just have to literally, I just remember when I signed up to become a coach being all right, I know I like to be a little bit of a perfectionist here. This is not going to be perfect. Okay. And I had to put it in my mind that you are going to like F up big time. It's just going to happen. You're going to fall on your face. You're going to make mistakes. But every time it happens, you are going to learn something from it and you are going to get up and keep going. You're not going to stop. So I feel like if you just already put it in your mind, then it makes it that much easier. Like, all right, like what can I learn from this right now? How can I use this now, help my team and teach my team? And then you just get up and you grow more and you keep going. I can't believe it happened. That's a killer.
Yeah, it's a great story to have when like coaches are upset about something. I'm like, I lost a bonus. Just kidding.
Right.
No, but it's like a good, another thing I like to think of, and this is just a final thought in case you guys have any questions, but I remember Lindsay Matway saying recently, she said she knew Bonnie Engel at her worst.
Yeah.
Like she knew Bonnie Engel when she was like over $100,000 in debt. Her posts were like not at all Bonnie, like they were like stock photos and like she didn't know what she was doing. And like, it's not like you just, again, when I say like everybody has 24 hours in a day, it's like nobody comes into this with like necessarily a huge advantage. Like we all have to learn what works. Like, I don't know about you, but I was not a social media guru or anything, still in that, by the way. But like, I barely posted on Facebook. And I didn't even have an Instagram account. I mean, I just started Instagram, like really going for it in January of this year and realized how important it was. So I did it. But, I think that sometimes we think like, well, I would be more successful if I was more like that, or if I was more like that, or, you start to like think of other people and you start to make excuses, and like that's just not true, because Lindsay Matway started $400,000 in debt. I mean, like her story, watch her story on YouTube if you haven't seen it. It's amazing. But I mean, there's a lot of people that like they're successful because they were driven to be successful because of their state. And you don't have to be in a bad state to be successful, but you do need to have belief and drive. Yeah. And I think that's really important. So yeah,
that's so true. You got to be relentless with it. This was awesome. Thank you so much. Do you guys have any questions for her? I mean, she knows her stuff. Anything?
Call to action. I don't really know my stuff, but call to action.
Yes, give us a call to action.
Yes, when you guys get off this call, I want you, she's going to write a post, by the way, okay? And you're going to write a post of like, post below your vision, your goals, and I want you to write a very specific goal with a very specific date underneath that post. Every single person do it. And then if you don't have a success partner, find one that is not your upline or downline, and get a success partner on your team and say, okay, girl, hold me to this. I wrote this on the post. This is my goal. What is yours? Let's get it. Every morning I wake up at 5 a.m. At between 6 and 7, I do my devotional, and then between 6 and 7, I meet with a success partner in New Orleans on Zoom, and we have grown our Instagram accounts by like 3,000, 4,000 people in the past couple months, just working on it, just loving on people, messaging people, and we get it all done in 1 hour at the beginning of the day. It doesn't mean that's the only hour I work, but it's a major part of getting that done, right? Yep. And then we go and we do our workout. And it is extremely helpful to have that accountability. If I didn't know Jesse was going to be up waiting for me, I would probably sleep more, because Kira's up teething a lot of the time. Oh. So it would be nice, to sleep in, but because of that accountability, I do that. So make sure you have a success partner, make sure you guys keep each other accountable, and write on that post.
Yep. Awesome. Love it. Thank you so much, Jessica. Oh, Kristen has a question.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. I can unmute you.
I got it. Thank you, Jessica. This call was absolutely amazing. I just have a question. Do you have like just one awesome tip for helping mentor coaches? Just your best mentoring tip, maybe?
Sure. And I just realized how messy my house is behind me.
That's good. It makes us all feel really good.
I'm like, look at my hot mess. Best tip, get into, if you love Jesus, get into the Word. Every morning, pray over your business, and do your personal development. Sometimes, like, 'cause I have to drive my kids every morning to preschool, daycare, that kind of stuff. That's a choice for me. I don't do it every morning, but I do it 3 days a week. And it's because of because of the daycare that I really enjoy, and I trust her and all of these things. It's like 30 minutes away from my home. It's kind of stupid. But I've used that 30 minutes in the car, there and back, to listen to personal development, and it has changed everything for me. And my favorite dude, I don't think he gets recognized enough, his name is Eric Thomas. And I listen to him because of the passion in his voice. He used to be homeless. He went on to get a PhD, and now he is a millionaire motivational speaker. He's actually also a pastor, but his talks are very secular, and he is so motivating to me. Like, I get done listening to him and I'm like, I'm going to go run in the Olympics and I'm going to win. Like, you think you're on top of the world. It's awesome. So yeah, that would be the biggest thing, because that's one of the things that I see coaches blow off the most. They blow off personal development. Inviting is obvious to me. Nobody can join you if you don't invite, right? But personal development is something that can just kind of slide, and then all of a sudden you start to feel really down. Mm-hmm. And you realize that you're not feeding. You might wake up. If I didn't do my devotional in the morning, here's just a quick example. I'm sorry I'm getting wordy, but yesterday morning was launch day, and I was in the 2B mindset, like the most recent coach test group. So I've been doing it for like about 6 weeks. And I was so excited because I'd set up, I do a lot of my setting people up over the phone, which may seem counterproductive, but I always talk to people about coaching. And so it helps me like vibe with them a little bit more, because a lot of them are cold market. So I want to build that trust. So I had all these appointments set up, and I was like super pumped. And the first thing I saw when I went into my inbox was like 3 people canceling. Like, oh, sorry, I decided I'm not going to do it, and I really don't have the money, and a million excuses. But because I did personal development and had listened to that, I was like, that's okay. I'm signing up 20 other people today, and these people are going to join me. It's just not right now. So next, and I just kept going. It's not like I wake up with rainbows coming out of my butt, I promise. But it's one of those things where like you can change that. And if I didn't have that personal development and I just read my inbox, I'd be like, failure. It doesn't feel good to get said, no, so many times, but I probably hear hundreds of no's a week. And I just don't let it affect me. So yeah, I would say personal development. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. I'm sorry that was so long.
No, it was great.
Oh, thank you.
This
I lost 12 pounds, guys. So through this like hell I went through, that does when, it did a lot for like my psyche too, of like, do I not look good enough? Do I not, you know what I mean? It messes with your head when you go through something like that. And I started through stress. I started to like build some tummy weight that I had lost through Shift Shop. And I was really sad about it. And this program, I'm still stressed. I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm still stressed. And I still, like, in the last 6 weeks, I've lost 12 pounds from it. So it is the real deal, and it's a mindset thing, but she does teach you how to plate stuff. It's incredible. So I don't know if you guys have started the videos yet, but if you haven't, you'll see. It's so good.
That sounds amazing. Congratulations on losing that weight.
Thanks.
Awesome.
I'm not where I was yet. But I will get there. I will.
Yeah,
so.
You will. I'm struggling with the same thing too. We'll both get there.
We'll get there, girl. It's happening. It's totally happening.
It's going down.
I'm putting a date on it, by the way. Summit.
Oh yes, put a date on it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to keep you on. I just have one last question though. For me, if you could help us out with this, what is something that you do, or how do you help your business coaches, business building coaches, like build their teams? Like, I know you probably do like coach webinars or coach sneak peeks or whatever it is that you do, but like, how do you help them see the importance of like actually taking advantage of those and getting people plugged in? Or just share with us a little bit about what you do.
Okay, so I do something that Eric Worre, I kind of follow Eric Worre. He wrote the book. Why am I totally blanking?
Eric Worre.
It's like a very typical PD book. Start naming some. I'm like,
I don't know. I don't think I've read this one by him.
It starts with a P. Why am I just am having this is gonna really hang on, Eric Worre. Oh my gosh, this is just seriously gonna bug the crap out of me.
I know what you hate when that happens.
GoPro.
Oh yeah, GoPro. Okay.
And okay, so he wrote GoPro, and I can't take credit for this because my upline, Lindsay Stay and I are really good friends, and we work a lot together. And she came up with something called the Yes Plan, and it has changed everything for me. And it is about offering. We go through Eric Worre's. Like I've read through all of his scripts. I have like a little training that I put all my new coaches through that have all of his scripts on talking with people about the business opportunity every single day. So for instance, I go on to different hashtags. So I might do hashtag single mom life or something. And I look for people. I do Christian moms. Like the last girl I just signed up, she is a worship leader with curly hair and she has 2 kids. It's like I'm finding me. I'm like finding my avatar. So I go on to, Christian moms or preschool moms or hashtag single mom life or whatever. And I might say something like, hey, Kelly, I found you on hashtag single mom life. Oh my gosh, your kids are beautiful. So I do comment plus compliment plus question equals conversation. And that comes from GoPro. Okay, so comment plus compliment plus question equals conversation. And so I might say like, your kids are so beautiful. I have a 1-year-old and a 5-year-old. How old are your kids? By the way, I'm a recent single mom and it looks like we have a lot in common. How long have you been a single mom for? Also, do you work outside the home at all? And I kind of set myself up. So I sometimes I even put in there like, I love connecting. How long have you been a single mom? Do you work outside the home at all? And I always ask that question because number one, I target, my avatar because it's what I'm interested in. I truly am interested in connecting with other single moms because it's not easy. So I target my avatar and then I always ask them if they work outside the home because I literally sometimes get responses that are like, unfortunately, yes. Okay, well, awesome. Let me tell you about this opportunity, except I don't say it like that. I just go, yeah, girl, like I totally understand. I always do feel, felt, found. I used to work outside the home too. I was working 50 hours a week. And I know how it feels to have to be away from your kiddos and how hard that is. I don't know if this is anything that you'd be interested in, and no big deal either way, but would you ever be open to another stream of income from home? Not many people say no. I mean, a lot of people are very interested in that. And so then I get on the phone with them. And I get on the phone and I share my story and I talk with them. And it was so funny. This girl the other week was like, okay, I'm in. Like, I talked to her about how I make 6 figures a year. I started doing hour a day. I matched my I matched my 50-hour a week income in 6 months doing 1 hour a day of Beachbody, going balls to the walls, Beachbody for that hour. I was determined and I matched it. But it's funny because I don't always say Beachbody, and it's not because I'm not proud of it. It's just that I'm so used to branding my team and myself. And Beachbody is $1 billion company. They have people that market for them. We need to market us. Right. And so it was funny because she's like, I'm in. By the way, what's the company? She was just so sold on being her own boss and working from home and doing this, and so that's kind of like the plan that we go with is like, I always ask people, would you ever be interested in another stream of income? And usually when it's moms, I say from home.
Yeah.
And then I say, I've got an amazing team of coaches. So many of us are moms and we are able to be full-time moms with a full-time income, doing a few hours a day from home. Oftentimes before the kids get up or during nap time. It's such a powerful community. Would you like to hear a little bit more about that? Would you be up for a quick phone chat? And again, all of this is Eric Worre, guys. And I didn't make it up. Lindsay didn't make it up. it's his. And, once in a while I'll get somebody that just doesn't want to get on the phone with me, and then I still send them some videos. But what I do is I get on the phone with them and get to know them a little bit, share my story, and then I just, let them know. I don't put them on the spot, but I just say to them, I always tell them that the phone call is going to be quick, by the way. Nobody wants to sit on the phone with you for an hour. So I just let them know, and you don't want to do that anyway. So I've got about 10 minutes. Are you free for a quick chat? And if they say no, I make an appointment for when they are. And then after the call, I just say, okay, so I know that like that story, I don't know if that inspires you or not, but if I sent you a 6-minute video, telling you a little bit more about what I do overall, it's a little sneak peek video that I have. Would you watch it? Yeah, sure, I'd watch it. Okay, great. Would you be able to watch it by, tomorrow night, and then we could talk like 8 p.m. same time? Yeah, I could do that. I mean, and if they're like, I don't know, you could say, you can even listen to it on the way to work if that works for you. They don't have to look at your face, right? And then they say, yeah, okay, I could do that. And then we do a phone call. And it's funny because I signed up 6 new business coaches last month that all were from me starting the Yes Plan in January. So again, a lot of people said no to me in January that are now saying yes, and I'm still following up, and I'm still breadcrumbing, I'm still working with them. So they don't all just go, I'm in, it doesn't always work like that. It took me 6 months to even reach out to my coach about the plan, So just remember that they don't always say yes right away, but now they're watching. Right. They're watching. So anyway, I do that, and I teach my team members that.
Okay. So you have like a new, like right off the bat, when you get new coaches onto your team, new business building coaches onto your team, you have a training set up right off the bat that teaches them how to talk to people about the business. Is that right?
Yep. And we do, I
also
have my own website training with all the basics. So I have my own website training with all the basics. I run new coach groups. We have like these scripts, but I have them do the basics, and then I do a GSR, and then we go into these scripts. So I don't do it like I have them actually understand what the business is a little bit, but I always tell them to start inviting right away.
Yeah.
Like they don't have to wait. They know that they believe in this, so go for it.
That's
but
awesome.
I think for a long time I felt like the only people that could be coaches on my team were challengers first, and that's just not true.
Yes,
I think the network made us believe that a little bit too. That the vital process, that's great, and a lot of my coaches were challengers first, but not all of them, and they don't have to be. Right. Like some people legitimately, Lindsay Stay got into this business. She started out pregnant and got into this business and drank Shakeology pregnant, even though she felt sick from it. She did it because she believed in this opportunity so much and believed in Shakeology and what it was. And she now makes $30,000 a week.
Yeah.
And, it's insane. And so, and she would have never done it just for the fitness. She wouldn't have. So where there's a will, there's a way. So yeah.
It's true. I mean, I didn't come into this for the fitness. I came in right out of the gates to build a business because my back was against the wall. So, and I was not a challenger first. So yeah, I think so too. Like definitely the network kind of makes you feel a little bit there that they got to be challengers, which they do go on to make awesome coaches. But I mean, definitely you got to get people learning about the business that are not challengers, constantly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. That was great. Does anybody have anything before we let Jessica go? This has been so helpful. Thank you so much.
I'm sorry. I feel like I'm long-winded. I didn't mean to be.
No, seriously. Like I work all night long till like 12:30. I'm like addicted to this still 4 years later. So
I love you.
I know. And I love to talk to you. So, and they're used to the long-windedness from me. So you're good.
Perfect.
I guess there's nothing else. All right.
Well, oh my gosh, Angela. When did you write GoPro in there? Were you writing that while I was looking it up and I totally missed it?
Oh, yeah.
Girl, you rock.
Oh, I put it on like as you said.
Okay.
So I typed it. So it was same time.
I'm so tired, you guys. Kira,
you got to go to bed.
Well, I'm not going to. I'm going to work on my business. But it's just funny because my brain is kind of a little foggy. So.
Uh-huh.
Oh. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time tonight. This was a phenomenal call. We're going to do our planned action here. I'm going to put my post on the team page, and you guys are going to go out and you're going to comment on it. Okay, we're going to do the call to action. And thank you so much again, Jessica. I just can't thank you enough. It was awesome. Awesome call.
You go, girl. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for listening and having me.
Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Bye.